Hi friends, I wanted to come in and do an update on our holiday spending, where we are, what we're doing, and just kind of give you some thoughts of my life now as someone who is financially comfortable, but who for many years lived paycheck to paycheck. I was in debt. I went through quite a few years as a single mom of 4 kids, just mainly supporting myself with a little bit of child support and a little bit of spousal support, but it wasn't a lot. And so I want to talk about that today and what we're doing. If you've been following me, you know that last month I did a cash budget and our income, I'm going to talk about that a little bit. What I did, it worked out really well, and I'm a big believer in shoot for the moon and you'll hit the stars. I told a story last month about a company that was trying to cut off 10%, I believe, or 20% of their electric. I think it was 10%, and the company couldn't figure out what to do. They just weren't coming up with really good ideas, so they decided to do 50%, and they ended up saving 25%. So they bypassed their original goal. And so what I did is I decided to try to save, I can't remember if it was $2,000 or $3,000 this past month, and I didn't quite get there, but I did end up saving $1,665. So I'm really happy with that. I made some decisions that I feel like will make it a little bit more understandable, because my goal in saving that money was for Christmas, and some of what I spent was for Christmas. So our income last month was $6,421. I spent $47.56, and that was on bills, food, medical. 500 of that I had set aside to buy things for my grandchildren for when they visit, like a rocking chair. Sorry, I just got over pneumonia. A playpen, a swing, diapers, wipes, all the things, because they're traveling on an airplane and they're going to need a lot. The other thing I did was I helped a family member pay off their car. It was the last car payment and they were really struggling, and that was an early present. I was going to give them money anyway, so that was $300 of it. And then I spent $200 on a local garden. I don't even know what you call it. Like, it's a place where you go and it's a beautiful garden. It's like, I don't know, several hundred acres. And they have a beautiful Christmas light. In every season, they do something like Tulip Festival. They have a children's festival. They have all kinds of wonderful things. It's a great place to go walk safely by myself as well. I bought a $200 pass to take our whole family to the Christmas lights. So every week we're taking different family members. And we're also paying for a golf cart for those that are unable to walk, because it is a couple of miles of walking. And it is so beautiful. That pass gets me in for the whole year with 3 other adults and all the children that I can muster up taken. So that was $1,000 of that spending over the $1,665 that I saved. So I almost hit that $3,000 budget, and I feel really good about that. How did we do it? Well, I kept a budget and I kept up with it. Actually, I may have spent less than that. I did not use my credit card bills because they haven't come in yet. I do watch my credit card bill and I make sure that, like, I say, okay, I'm not going to put more than $2,000 on this. I'm not going to put more than $300 on this. I only have 2 that aren't work related. So what I did was I kept an eye on that, but when I paid them this week, since the statement date and the time to pay them, I just went ahead and paid them in full. So I overpaid the balance, basically. Check the statements. I kept up with the budget. I used less disposables. At Thanksgiving, I designated people what to bring, and I did less. I very much did a menu plan for what I was making for Thanksgiving, and I stuck to it. I did, and then I wrote down what was popular and what wasn't, and stored it in the notes on my phone so as to not repeat next year. Things that people didn't really eat. I froze some of the leftovers for Christmas, because we do a Christmas breakfast, and then I'll use some of that for mine and my husband's lunch in the afternoon. I used my paper coupons from Kroger. Kroger sends these little paper coupons if you shop there, and it's generally things that you would buy anyways. So I used my paper coupons. Before I would go to the store, I would see what coupons I have and what I needed, and I would buy those things, where I would plan my meals around the coupons. I also went on and did all the digital coupon clipping before I went to the store. That saved me on average about $40 a trip. And I meal planned and I pantry shopped before I went. There wasn't really anything that I didn't get to do. Like, I went out to eat with my friends. My husband and I didn't go out to eat a lot this month. And that was kind of intentional, but it was mainly because it's just not, we don't enjoy it since the pandemic as much. Me being 100% vegan, my husband's about 90%. It's not that enjoyable. I did go out to eat today with money that I actually had left over in my personal spending budget. So yeah, I felt good. I feel really good about where we were. So going into Christmas, some rules that I've always had is no tapping into savings that wasn't for Christmas. That's an always rule, like in years past. But now we will cash flow Christmas from what we have left over. Which, if you heard me say, I saved $1,665 and I already spent some on Christmas. So what is left over this month, that will help extend the cost of Christmas. No going into debt ever. I never have gone into debt for Christmas, and I will not go into debt for Christmas. I will continue to use disposables, things that aren't disposable. I mean, like, I used regular cups, or I had people bring the drinks, the water, the sodas that they like to drink. And I didn't I did get some cheap disposables that happened to be on sale for $1.82. I was actually just going to use my plates, but I didn't quite have enough. So having a budget for what I'm spending has been really helpful. And the way I'm doing my budget this year is a little different. It's not like a total budget. I have a limit that I can't go over. But if I put a limit, like grandchildren, $50, parents and siblings, $25 to $50, close friends, $25 to $50. Then our children are like $100. And I'm always struggle with this with the spouses, but we're going to give a family gift this year I'm not exactly sure. It depends where we are when we get closer to Christmas, how much is there, but we're going to give each child a family gift, an amount of money that they can use for whatever they want for their family or bills or whatever. We have young adult children. They're all kind of struggling. And so we felt like this was something, because we had a good year with our business, that we could do. Now, I want to say a little bit about in my past what I've done to help any of you with some ideas if you might be struggling, because I always hear people say, what do you spend on Christmas? That is so relative to your situation and your income. Me being an empty nester with a husband that has a business, I'm 53, he's 65. We're a lot better off than we were when we were single parents, right? And so we're going to have a different budget than someone who is struggling day to day, just trying to make the bills, meet their bills. So there were times, like especially the first year that I got divorced, I left my ex-husband in October, and I was able to save $200 for Christmas. And I told all the adults in my family there would be no Christmas presents for them. And I was sorry. They understood. Mostly my parents, right? And of course, they cut out his whole family. I didn't have to buy for them. So I spent $50. And that year, I remember trying to kind of bulk it up with things that were like, maybe socks that they would want or something like that. But I would get them something they wanted. And I don't think my children even remember how hard that was. They have never said a word to me about, remember that Christmas when we had no money? Because other people are giving them gifts too. Their dad was giving them money. Their grandparents were doing things for them. So I don't think they really even missed it. I don't think they would have any memory of it at all. Some other things I like to do, and I do these things even though we do have the money, is I like to think about what makes Christmas Christmas, or whatever holiday that you celebrate, Kwanzaa or Hanukkah. And I try to think about how I can do that. So things like tomorrow we're decorating the Christmas tree. I'll have Christmas music on, or a movie. We will have maybe popcorn. I've got some apple cider that we're going to drink, things like that. Maybe volunteering, going to a matinee. All of these things are cheap to do or free. going to look at Christmas lights, going to listen to maybe a choir at church or something like that. The other things I did for my children when they were young, and I was a single mom with not a lot of money, is I wrote my children a letter every year. And some other things I've done is put an app, like I think it's called Shutterfly. I'm not sure. It's a picture of a butterfly. And they give you, it's like 100 pictures for $10, which is the shipping. I buy these little picture, what do you call those, albums. You can buy them for like $20 for 5 of them. And I go through their Facebook and I download pictures and I go through their Instagram of their friends, their family. You don't want to do this every year because it would be hard, but every couple of years. And I'll fill that up with pictures, past pictures of family, childhood pictures, things like that. So they have some kind of concrete memory that doesn't just live in their phone. That's very cheap. I used to make Kahlua for the adults. It's really simple to make. I don't really drink that much, but it's really simple with vanilla bean and I think coffee and vodka. That's a great thing to make. Jellies, facial products. My friend makes really great facial products. Bean soup jars, cookie jars, soaps, bath salts. Those are all really easy things to make. And I really think people just appreciate the fact that you thought of them. There are cheap gifts like candles, socks, boxes of tea. Last year, I gave a lot of people that I'm not real close to, like my grandson's girlfriend, who I don't know that well. I remember getting her like some comfy socks, a mug, like a reusable hot mug, like not a Stanley, but one of those Aladdin brands or something like that. And it was really pretty. It had a beautiful design on it. And I gave her some hot tea and she was tickled. She was tickled. And I feel like she truly was. You know, non-toxic candles right now on Amazon, there's a box of 4 that are wonderful for $18. Bags of specialty coffees. My friends give me, I will not buy Keurig coffees, even though I have a Keurig coffee maker, but it also has the pot. My friends know I am too cheap and I'm kind of an environmentalist. So it's just a treat. I say kind of, I am, but I'm not militant. My friends will buy me special coffees. I love the peppermint mocha that goes on sale only at Christmas from Starbucks. I'm not going to Starbucks, too expensive. My friend got me a case of those for Christmas because she knows I'm too cheap to go buy it. So things like that. Those are just ideas that I do, but I find that setting a budget and knowing that I can stick to it by checking my bank account, keeping up with my credit cards, or using cash, whatever works best for you, is the best way to keep a rein on your expenses. I hope this has been helpful. What are some of your frugal tips for saving money and bringing Christmas or whatever holiday you decide to do into your life, the holiday season into your life, to bring joy and fun, and to have some self-care in that too. And about that, I mean, if you don't have any money, there's still things you can do to bring Christmas into your life and treat yourself kindly and the people that you love kindly. All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.